Hello everyone and welcome to Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com, the number one Superman fan site in the world. In this, our June 13th, 2022 show, we're going to be covering a range of topics, including how did you celebrate Superman Day? Yes, it was Superman Day the other day. Happy Superman Day to everybody. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming Superman and Lois Season 2 finale. We're going to talk about the latest episode of Superman and Lois, comic books, so much more. And we're also going to turn to you to ask for your questions and comments on how you would like to, any topic you would like to discuss, and to let you know how that works and how you can get involved in tonight's show. Let me introduce you to my co-host, a sweltering, sweaty Michael Bailey. Hey, Mike.
Yeah, if y'all hear a fan in the background, it's because there's a fan in the background. I cannot stay in this enclosed room without some air circulation, or I'm going to die. But no one really cares about the fact that it's hot now because it's summer, and it's technically not summer. No, they're here to talk about Superman, because Superman Homepage Live is all about the Man of Steel. And in the old days, we had this whole convoluted thing about Skype, but no, not anymore. Yes, all you have to do is go to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the call now button, or scan the QR code below, or to my I guess
that would be to your
right.
Watching
this, that would be to my right.
You're right, but they're left.
Yeah, that's where I got. That's where I got stuck. It's spatial relations really just befuddle me. No, it's really easy, and it doesn't seem to screw things up as much either. So we're really excited about that.
Yes, indeed. So get involved with that QR code, and if you're a little bit shy, don't want to be on camera, don't want to be on the phone, don't want to talk to us in person, you can comment, and there are plenty of people already doing that right now on our YouTube channel. Comment along with all the fans watching. Michael and I will keep an eye on that. We'll react to your comments and questions as the show goes along. But if you would like your comment or question featured on the screen like this, which is thanks to John Patrick Van Pelt, who reminded me about a timing issue that I had on the schedule of this video today. Thank you for that, John. You can post a super chat. All you have to do is click the little dollar symbol there on YouTube. A slider will appear on your screen. You decide on the dollar amount you're willing to donate, and we will feature your comment or question live on the screen as the show goes along. And there's super chats, there's super thanks, and there's super stickers. So if you'd like to try out any of those features, click the little dollar symbol there. And thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. If you'd like to support the Superman homepage and sponsor this show, simply click the join button below. There are different levels of perks for YouTube membership, or you can go to patreon.com/Superman homepage. Well, Mike, it's obviously heating up there in the US for your summer, and it's getting pretty cold here in Australia, as you can see by my get up, because we're heading into winter. But the Superman celebration took place in Metropolis, Illinois this past weekend. 3-day festival that saw Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum there. And it's always darn hot there in Metropolis. If you remember back, what was it, 2008? Or was it you and I were there together?
2008, yeah, I'll never forget. At one point I was walking down the street, I'm like, I don't feel right. I'm dehydrated. It's hot. And then, it broke. I don't know if it was Thursday or Friday, but it broke because we got a rainstorm at one point, which was kind of nice. And then it just got hot again. Yep. So, that was that's the only problem with it being in June.
Yes, it's on the second weekend of June. Tentatively, I am planning to go again next year. It will have been 5 years since I was there in 2018. So hoping to return back to Metropolis next year for the 2023 Superman celebration. Might bring the missus along, and I'm thinking my sister Carol and her husband might come along as well. We'll probably do a bit of a trip around the US, do a few things, maybe go Gracelands, stuff like that, make a bit of a trip of it. They're big Elvis fans. So, but this year's celebration saw Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum in attendance. The last time I was there, Michael Rosenbaum was there 4 years ago. So he's returned and brought Tom Welling around with him this time. And there was also Hidden Gems Comic-Con taking place where Jack O'Halloran was there. There he is, arm wrestling the official town Superman, Josh Boltinghouse, who is a good friend of the site and a good friend of ours, and does a wonderful job of portraying Superman across the weekend. And from all the photos and videos I saw, it looks like it was a wonderful time had by all.
Justin is asking if I'm going next year. I don't know. We tentatively have plans for May, and I don't know if I'll be able to swing another vacation like a month later. I would love to, and it just really depends on how things shake out next year too, because it's going to be kind of a weird year for us already if everything happens the way we think it's going to happen. But yeah, unfortunately, I've got friends from another country coming into the U.S.
Nice.
that we were planning something with. So it's just like, look, y'all live too far away, and that's not my fault.
Well, we're the ones making the effort. We're the ones getting over to your country. When are you going to come to Australia and visit me?
I think we would stay. That's the thing. We would just come and stay.
Plenty of room.
In all honesty, with how things are going, Rachel and I are actually going to be applying for our passports soon. We've never done that before.
Oh wow!
It's like a 6-month wait almost sometimes.
Okay.
So
you've got to plan well in advance. Yeah, so next year's celebration is taking place across June 9th, 10th, and 11th. Looks like they're condensing it down to 3 days permanently now. It used to be a 4-day celebration. But the Thursday evening kind of thing wasn't necessarily a big draw card. So I think it's a good idea condensing it into 3 days now. You can fit pretty much everything into those 3 days with celebrities that attend. And you don't get that big a turnout on the Thursday evening. It's usually just a Friday, Saturday, Sunday that are the big turnout days. And kind of the Sunday used to kind of wane a little bit because most people had been there for 3 days already by that stage. So I think it's a good idea to do it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and make Sunday more of an event day than it used to be. But yeah, June 9th to 11th next year. I think it's another anniversary. Well, it's the anniversary of Superman. He'll be 85 next year, and I think it's 45 years or 40 something years since the celebration itself was originally announced. I know this year was a anniversary of, I think it was 40 years for Metropolis itself. So I'm not sure exactly what anniversary it is for the celebration, but it's going to be a good one, and I'm looking forward to hopefully attending next year and meeting up with some lifelong friends that we've made since being there. My first trip was 2003.
Yes.
So yes, it'll be 20 years since my first trip.
Good Lord, man.
Holy crap, yeah. So looking forward to the Superman celebration next year. It looks like everyone had a wonderful time. Hoping to collate some videos together to show you exactly what happened there in Metropolis in Illinois. It's a great time, and I'm glad everyone had a wonderful time. It's a bit of a downer when you come back from that trip because you have such a wonderful time, and then you kind of come back and it's like back into the real world.
Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, I'm glad everyone had a fantastic time, and Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling seem to have done a really good job of their Smallville nights. And and they made a bit of an announcement just this last couple of days. They have a podcast coming out called Talkville, which will be a rewatch of Smallville. It starts today. They put up an announcement podcast or episode announcing that this was taking place. Talkville, a rewatch podcast of Smallville with Tom Welling and Michael Rosenbaum.
Yeah, I last year when they were at DragonCon, they were talking about doing something.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't say it was a podcast, but I remember they were discussing, doing something where they would watch episodes and react to it. And they just hadn't figured it out. It's going to be interesting because I know that there's episodes that they just don't remember at all. So I wonder how those are going to turn out. If like maybe watching it sparks a memory.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see the stories they tell about behind the scenes, what they remember from doing particular episodes. And JP Rocha asking, can you watch Smallville on HBO Max? No. I think it's...
No. Smallville is still on Hulu.
So there you go. That answers that. So
Which is odd.
Yes. But if you want to watch along, Hulu, or otherwise you probably got your box sets, hopefully. Yes.
And on Hulu, the pilot episode is not the full episode.
Oh.
It's the truncated one that they did it for syndication, because the original episode ran over the normal time, like by 4 or 5 minutes. And there was like a couple of little extra things that when I watched it on Hulu last year for something, I was just like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. So yeah, stick with your DVDs or your Blu-rays if you have them.
Yes, indeed. All right, it was Superman Day this past June 12th. So yesterday for you guys, a couple of days ago for me. And it's a day that they announced a couple of years ago as being a national day of celebrating Superman. June is, for many people, considered... Well, they look at Action Comics #1, and it came out with a date of June 1938. And so a lot of people consider June to be an anniversary of some kind, which is technically not true, because as we know, it came out a couple of months earlier than that, technically. But June 1938 is, for many people, the origination of Superman with Action Comics #1. And so June 12th celebrates Superman Day across the United States, and it's kind of filtered around the world now. A lot of people are celebrating it no matter where you are, if you're a Superman fan.
Yeah, I guess June 12th is Superman Day, and April 18th is Greek Orthodox Superman Day. I think that's how that works out.
Maybe.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it till the day, and I'm like, I'm at work. I can't do anything. That was the fun part. It was just like, I'd love to pop a couple things in the DVD player, or maybe work on a podcast that has to do with Superman. But no, I'm here at work, so yay.
Yeah, so it was an interesting one, because Superman Day fell through at the same time as the Superman celebration in Metropolis, Illinois, which is nice and handy. Yeah, kind of because Superman Day is here June, because of the time difference between us and you guys, it's kind of hard to celebrate it with anybody of great significance, because a lot of the fans here are not that necessarily combined like they are on the internet there in the US, and a lot of the fans, well, we have a few of us, obviously Justin's one of the regulars here in Sydney that tunes into our show, and I know that there are a few across different states in Australia, but it's obviously not as big as it would have been there in the US, especially with the Superman celebration taking place at the same time in Metropolis. But yeah, maybe just wear a Superman shirt or something like that, just to celebrate it, just to mark it. Hopefully other people kind of recognize, if they are Superman fans, that it was Superman Day. But other than that, didn't really do too much myself to celebrate it. This past weekend was a holiday weekend for us, celebrating the Queen's birthday. Just a public holiday that, we are part of the Commonwealth, so we get a Monday off. So it was just a bit of a lazy weekend.
So I'm going to be really interested in a couple of years if there's going to be a certain contingent of the fandom that's going to say that there is a war on Superman Day, and that everything that people that don't wish you a happy Superman Day instead of a usual happy DC universe are just ruining the holiday.
They're shunned.
So I don't know if this joke is really landing, so we're going to move on.
All right, well, moving on. Let's get to the television side of things, where there was a new episode of Superman and Lois this past week. It was the 13th episode of Season 2, titled All Is Lost. You reviewed this one for the website, giving it another 5 out of 5 rating. You said something along the lines of the end of the episode was the perfect, everything goes really bad, really fast sequence.
Yep, we're 2 episodes out from the we're 2 episodes out from the season being over, so everything's got to go to hell now. And really, to be honest, the 5 out of 5, just doing that kind of to troll people, because I've noticed that people get really up in arms about reviews that are positive.
Yeah.
And it seems like, and even looking at my own kind of Twitter timeline, most of the Superman and Lois stuff is uniformly positive, but it seems like the last couple of episodes have really kind of got people up in arms about specifically Lana, and I disagree. I guess is the best way to say that.
No, fair enough. This was a good episode for me. I like to see the way things landed as far as how people, the family dealt with all the fallout of, Lana knowing, and how Jordan dealt with it and having that conversation with Lana. And it was, all in all, kind of a condensing episode. It kind of brought everything, together from where we'd left off previously. And we're getting lots of questions from, John Patrick Van Pelt is asking quite a few. So, should we trust... let me see where he goes here. Guys, should we trust Jonathan or Jordan to keep the secret away from Sarah? I think they're brought up in such a way, especially... Jonathan has no reason to want to tell Sarah. He's not in a relationship with her. Obviously, Jordan is desperate to tell her because he's thinking that it might patch up their relationship. But Lana kind of set him straight on that one, saying, I don't think so. I think if anything, it's going to be make it worse, because she's going to be thinking that I don't want to have a relationship where, the person that I'm involved with is going to have to be racing off and doing crazy things and getting himself into danger.
Yeah, I thought Lana was tough but fair with Jordan in this episode. She was really harsh, but at the same time, I'm like, this is exactly what Jordan needs to hear.
Yeah,
he doesn't need anybody candy coating this. It's not a matter of his desire to keep her safe. It's a matter that now his life is just unsafe in general. Last year he got taken over by a Kryptonian evil guy, Talro's dad, and that kind of stuff can happen. So I don't think he's itching to tell her anymore, because it's a little more complicated, and I think he's seeing that.
Yeah. How come the citizens of Smallville don't believe that Ali Alston is gone, even though Lois said so? Well, they don't have any... I think you're talking about her cult. They don't have any reason to believe Lois, because she has been doing everything she can to discredit Ali Alston, and they believe in Ali, so there's no reason for them to have any faith in anything that Lois says, because she's the bad guy as far as they're concerned. Do you guys think someone will come to rescue Clark Kent / Superman and take him to the Fortress of Solitude for healing? I think all he really needs at this point in time is a massive dose of sunlight.
Yeah, it's the trailer, which we're going to be playing in a couple minutes, is kind of ambiguous, because of course it is. They're not going to reveal anything. I forget who I was talking with, but they're like, well, how long is Superman going to be, is Clark going to not have his powers? And I said, about an episode and a half. So I don't think this is something that's going to be permanent. It does set up, once again, for the auxiliary crew to have to kind of step up and kind of pick up the slack. And now we've got Nat in armor. And boy, was it a really short period of time to her having it and it not working, to it not only working perfectly, it being coated in X-kryptonite. So
yeah, she did a massive job of that.
Yeah, she must have been just up all night.
And keeping it secret from her dad at the same time.
Yeah.
What is the title of Ali Alston's book? Because it is hard to read on screen. I think it was pretty... She had a poster and everything behind. Isn't it like Finding Your True Self or something along those lines, about getting your better half, or I don't know, something along those lines.
You're just not that into you, I think.
Did they use the part of the Death of Superman storyline in this episode? Not sure what part.
Like Superman being in the hospital, but he died, and like people going, we've got to take up. It's a very tenuous connection, if it's anything.
Yeah. Do you guys really think Lois Lane is going to reveal Clark Kent's secret identity to Ellie Olsen and Lucy? Lucy already knows, doesn't she?
I don't know. That's really ambiguous at this point, because I have a feeling that if she did, Allie would already know. She would have already told her.
Okay.
So I don't think she knows exactly now. Especially since when Clark was with her when she came to visit the kids, he was still wearing his glasses.
Yes, that's true. So the episode kind of ended nicely. Superman is powerless. He's been drained of so much of his powers that his cells look like they're almost human, which to me kind of is a bit hokey, because it should still be Kryptonian just without solar radiation in my book. I mean, it's just like, oh, your cells are depleted. They look like normal cells, not human cells would be more of a way I would. But anyway, I mean, I don't know what Kryptonian cells look like under a microscope, but I guess it's their way of saying...
little S shields.
Yeah. It's their way of saying this, that he's pretty much, human as in frail, like a human being. So, yes. Justin saying Lucy doesn't know that Clark is Superman.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because if she's been pretty much the black sheep of the family, it's not necessarily something that she would keep under her lid if she did know it, considering how many times she has backstabbed her family.
Yeah. I gotta hand it to this show too, because they started the season with a fake out of Doomsday, moved into it being Bizarro, not Doomsday, and now the ultimate villain is Parasite, or a new version of the Parasite. And I just on a level of using different Superman villains and not just going to the Lex Luthor well, I'm just really impressed with that. I just continue to love this show. I'm glad it got renewed for another season, because I'm not ready to let go yet. Indeed.
All right, we're going to play the trailer for the upcoming episode, which is the penultimate episode of Season 2, World's War Bazaar. Here is the trailer for this episode.
Clark?
I'm not getting better. The world needs my help, and I'm, just taking a sick day.
If she can do that to Superman, what chance do the rest of us have? You are more than just your powers. It's because of your heart. Be Superman.
Lois giving Clark the pep talk. You are more than just your powers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like you. I think this episode we will see him powerless, and then the finale, which is called Waiting for Superman, will probably be the one where we'll hopefully see him with his powers returned somehow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hoping so.
So
either that, or it's just going to be a 42-minute music video for that Daughtry song. It's kind of a toss-up at this point.
Could never know. And Mind the Gap mentioning that there were red skies shown at one point where Lana and her two daughters were looking up at the sky, and everything was red tinged.
I'm assuming that's the planets emerging.
Okay.
And that is usually, red skies, anytime it's a crisis.
Mm-hmm.
But considering we have two different worlds, that works. But yeah, I think it's, given the synopsis for Waiting for Superman, I'd stay a good bit that's probably from the end of the episode when the worlds are really starting to merge.
And Mind the Gap saying, it also looks like Chrissy is looking at Clark's resume. Well, Lois did mention that she, as a kind of a way of giving an explanation as to where Clark has been for that month that he went missing when he was in the Bizarro-verse, that he was on assignment.
How do you look at Clark's resume? He was a writer for the Daily Planet for decades. Like you own the Smallville Gazette. Plus, the co-owner is married to him. I mean, why are we even talking about this?
Yes, exactly. Now, we mentioned that the finale is upcoming beyond tomorrow night's episode for you guys, and it's titled Waiting for Superman, as I mentioned. It will air on Tuesday, June 28th, and the season finale description reads, Chrissy Beppo, with the authorization of the Department of Defense, has a message for the people of Smallville. Not only is the merging of planets real, it is happening. Why is Chrissy being tasked with that role?
Probably because Lois is finally being honest with her, and last year she couldn't. They weren't honest about what was going on, and now they are. So that's a really, really generic synopsis.
It is indeed, and we do know that John Diggle is coming back with David Ramsey returning for the finale of Superman and Lois, and there have been a few theories in the comments already, with Justin Shields saying, here's his theory: Diggle is coming to Smallville to get Clark's help to rescue heroes captured by Mongul, and that will be the opening few episodes of season 3, with them going to Warworld to rescue them. Wow.
That would be interesting.
Would they get away from Smallville and go off-world?
Yeah, that's the thing. This is it's. And do we need Superman disappeared for another couple of episodes? Do we have enough of that this season?
But interesting one. Mongul's been a big part of the comic books at the moment, and I do know that this writing crew likes to dig into the comic book side of the world to take some material. Yes.
That reminded me. I owe Mind the Gap an apology. While the comics... Correction from last week. While the comic books never dealt with Martha Kent having cancer, Tom DeHaven's It's Superman did have her dying of cancer.
Right.
And I just totally forgot about that. And it was literally right after we finished that other thing we were doing, I closed my computer and went, oh yeah,
by the way,
it's Superman, Mike.
Yeah, so there you go. Thank you. Yeah, no, well, we are not infallible, so at least we own up to our errors.
Oh, the dummy was directed towards me.
Oh no, but there are plenty of times when I've just not knowing what I'm talking about half the time. So yeah, Diggle coming back, and we have been told, don't forget, by the showrunner Todd Helbing, that the season 2 finale will set us straight as to where Superman and Lois sits in the Arrowverse of the CW shows. So looking forward to seeing how they explain that and what the explanation is.
Yep, 2 more weeks. It's going to be exciting.
Yep, so the penultimate episode is tomorrow night, June 14th, there in the US, and then the finale is June 21st. So looking forward to the next 2 episodes No?
I thought there was a week between.
No, I don't think there are any more stoppages. I think that was previous.
No, there's another.
Is there?
Let me look.
While you look, I thought it was the 21st was the finale. Or I could be wrong. Was it the 28th? Is there a gap?
Yeah, because they announced that there was another.
Repeat episode.
Let's go. Yeah, World War Bazaar, episode 14 is June 21st.
Okay, and then the finale June 28th.
Yes.
Okay, so there is a gap between the second last episode and the last episode. It's is there no episode tomorrow night?
No episode this week.
That's right.
And then it's the next 2 weeks.
Okay, see, we even correct ourselves on the run. So no episode tomorrow night. Nothing new tomorrow night. A week off. Have a break. Catch up. Here. Nothing to see here. I'll edit this later in post-production. There is no episode tomorrow night. The second last episode will be on the 21st, and then the finale on the 28th. So we hope we've got that straight. Thank you everyone for correcting us, making sure we get it right. We don't want to give any misinformation out. So a repeat episode tomorrow night, penultimate episode 21st, season finale 28th. So looking forward to those remaining 2 episodes next week and the week after. So now that we've got that straight, time to take a break, play some messages. On the flip side, we'll come back and do the fan favorite segment of our show, and also This Week in History before we get into the comic book side of the show. So back right after these messages. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be back in a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So stand by.
If you're enjoying Superman Homepage Live, then please like and share this video with your family and friends. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to our YouTube channel, then you can click on the bell to receive notifications whenever we post a new video. You can also join our YouTube membership program, just click the join button below. Or you can become a patron and support our website by going to patreon.com/Superman Homepage.
Look, up in the sky.
It's a bird.
It's a plane. No, it's SupermanHomepage.com, the #1 Superman fan site in the world. SupermanHomepage.com, covering the world of Superman from the 1930s to today. News, reviews, rumors, and reports. SupermanHomepage.com for all your Superman comics, TV shows, movies, cartoons, radio shows, and more. Everything you ever wanted to know about the Man of Steel and more. SupermanHomepage.com.
Thanks, Superman Homepage, for all the support over the years. I really appreciate it.
I'm Matt Bomer, the voice of Superman and Superman Unbound, and this is the Superman Homepage.
Right here on Superman Homepage.
Coming from the farthest reaches of the universe to challenge the worst villains on Earth are the most powerful heroes ever in the battle of the Superpowers Collection. Can it be the Supermobile on the attack, the Lexor 7 armed with kryptonite? Will the Supermobile repel those deadly rays?
You bet. Ready for battle. Activate RAM.
New from Kenner's Superpowers Collection. Vehicles and figures with power action, each sold separately. Flying lessons for Penguin, fish bait for Luther. Can the Supermobile defeat the Lexor 7? You decide.
And we're back on Superman Homepage Live, where, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, if you want to be a caller and you want to get on and have a chat with Michael and I, there is the QR code right there in between us. Scan that using your phone or head to supermanhomepage.com/live and press the Call Now button, and we will be able to get you on and have a chat with you tonight. All right, so let's get into the fan favorite segment of our show. All right, Michael, what was our fan favorite question from last week?
What is your favorite Superman Blu-ray or DVD special edition packaging, i.e. a steelbook, etc.? And Stephen Marshall wrote in, my favorite Blu-ray packaging for my Superman motion picture anthology box set. The packaging is superb, not absurd, superb. And I especially love the cape for the inside packaging. It's also my favorite movie collection box set ever. It's got so many extras.
Yeah, that is a great collection. I love the way the box opens up. That's a really good one. So thank you to Stephen. Next up, John Patrick Van Pelt said, I remember growing up first renting Superman the movie VHS from the old Blockbuster video store and later on purchasing it from the same store. One of the things I love about Superman the movie 4-disc DVD special edition is watching the special features on making of the film and how much technology has changed over the years, and looking forward to the next fan favorite question. Thank you, John. That's not an image he sent through. I found that one online, but thank you for your response.
Kenny Crowley Jr. wrote, I have so many Superman and Super Family home video releases I own and love, but my favorite are the many different versions of Superman the movie and the Christopher Reeve films on Blu-ray and 4K UHD Blu-ray. The Smallville complete DVD box set of seasons 1 to 10 and seasons 6 to 10 on Blu-ray will upgrade to the complete series on Blu-ray discs next month. The Supergirl TV series on Blu-ray discs seasons 1 through 5, including a cool steelbook for seasons 2, still need to get the final 6th season on Blu-ray disc, which I will also do next month. Plus, the Blu-ray disc and 4K UHD versions of the Snyderverse Superman films. While the movies are 50-50 storytelling-wise, they're beautiful to look at and really good with a really good 4K TV. I love these releases, and they are super amazing in my Superman Family home video collection. Take care, Steve and Michael. Plus, keep up the super amazing work.
Well, thank you, Kenny. Appreciate your response. Next up, we have Tyler Hauser, who wrote, my favourite DVD case would be the collector's edition of Superman the Animated Series. And that was a nice foil kind of feel to that cover as well. Thank you, Tyler.
Yep. Ryan Ignatius Pratt wrote, my favorite Superman home video cover art is from the Superman Ultimate Collector's Edition DVD set. Here are the pics of the front and the back covers of the steel-themed case presenting the S from Superman the movie and Superman Returns respectively. I've also included 2 photos of the interior case's special lenticular cover.
Oh, sorry I didn't grab all those photos, but that was a nice steelbook kind of look to that collector's edition. That was awesome.
I pre-ordered it on Amazon, and it was getting to be like the week it was going to come out. They're like, yeah, we're going to get that to you about a week later. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
No. And I canceled that order and just went into Best Buy near my work and picked it up the day it came out because I wasn't waiting. I had been really looking forward to that. Though the weird thing about that set, and I don't know if anybody else had this problem, the sound mixing on the making of Superman 2 was pitched really low. Like, everyone kind of sounds like they're just talking. It's really strange.
So I'd have to check that out.
But that's my favorite, too.
Yeah.
I loved the initial DVD box set, but that 16 or 14 disc set, it just, like, going through it was like Christmas.
Yes.
Every day.
Yeah, it was awesome. A little booklet that came with it with all, describing everything. John asks the question once again, are we ever going to see a Superman homepage commercial with Tyler Hoechlin as Superman? It is on my to-do list, John. It probably won't happen anytime soon. There are other things that are more important at the moment, but I do have that in the back of my mind that I will get to it, so I appreciate you asking once again and keeping me on my toes. So thank you for that reminder. But yeah, that was awesome to see some of those box set collections. I'm surprised we didn't get any of the steel books that, who is it in the US that does them? They're like a variant cover, the steel books. Which store is it?
Yeah, Best Buy
Best
sometimes
Buy,
does them. I know that they had a Jim Lee cover for Justice League when the Joss Whedon cut came out. I haven't seen anything else. But yeah, I think I got the steelbook for Man of Steel.
Yes.
From
Walmart. Seeing that one.
But I'd have to go look. It's weird. I mean, it's a giant rack, and I recently reorganized it to include the Super Friends cartoons because somebody was just like, "Hey, Superman's in those," and I'm like, "You're right." So I
you got them.
Did everything over again.
There you have it. So thank you everyone for responding to the fan favourite segment of our show. Michael, what is our new fan favourite question for this week?
Who's your favourite Jimmy Olsen live action actor?
Yeah, your favourite live action version of Jimmy Olsen. Who is it? Let us know and why. And the email address, whoops, that's not it. There it is, scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. info@supermanhomepage.com. Let us know who your favourite live-action version of Jimmy Olsen is, be it television or movie. We'd love to hear who it is and why. And we look forward to reading those responses when we return to this segment next week. So get involved in the fan favourite segment of our show. All right, let's move on to This Week in History.
Come with me now, my son, as we break through the bonds of your earthly confinement. Traveling through time and space.
All right, starting this time in 1962 with Justice League of America number 13, which that's a weird cover. It's actually kind of cool. I like the black and white coloring on the the people they're fighting. And Giant Superman Annual number 5, an 80-page giant reprinting a bunch of Superman stories. We got Super Monkey. We've got Lara and Jor-El and all that. And Futuro, that was a good story. And Jimmy Olsen's Kryptonian Adventures. So that was to be... I love those 80-page giant annuals. They're just really cool. Going ahead to 1972, we got World's Finest Comics number 213, where Superman is teaming up with the Atom and apparently having some problems with the phone company at the same time. Though that probably was a big thing in the 1970s. Then in 1982, one of my favorite Superman books of all time, DC Comics presents Annual number 1, which teamed up Superman and the Earth 2 Superman against the two Luthors, and that was the first appearance of the Luthor of Earth 3. So that's a really, really good annual, and you can find it on the Comixology and all that. And we have Superman Family number 222, which I believe is the last issue of this one. And apparently Supergirl's just ready to go because she wants out. That's okay. 1992, correction from last week. We already talked about these, but it actually came out this week. Superman Annual number 4 with the eclipsing of Lois Lane, and Superman the Man of Steel number 14, where Superman teams up with Robin to fight a vampire. In 2002, Adventures of Superman number 605. This is another part, the last part of that meet up with the alternate versions of Owlman and Superwoman and Ultraman, and man, the art was just terrible in those. And then in 2012, we have DC Comics presents Superman Adventures number 1. That's a 100-page spectacular reprinting some of the Mark Miller DC Superman adventure books, and Superboy number 10. And moving into the real world, a lot of death this week.
Yeah, big time.
Danny Dark passed away on June 13th, 2004, and just a year later, he was the voice of Superman on the Super Friends, and just a year later, Lane Smith, who was Perry White on Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman, passed away, which was really sad because I love Lane Smith. June 14th, Man of Steel was released in theaters in 2013. On June 15th, Ross Andru, Superman artist from the 70s and 80s, was born in 1925. And June 16th, George Reeve passed away under mysterious circumstances in 1959. Kurt Swan died in 1996.
He did too.
And this is also traditionally recognized as the day Krypton exploded.
A lot of death
June
there.
17th. Yeah, I was about to say that kind of pushes it. That's like Alderaan in A New Hope. June 17th, Superman 3 was released in theaters in 1983. And on June 18th, we have Bud Collyer being born in 1908. And this is, June 18th, traditionally recognized as the day Kal-El landed on Earth and was found by the Kents. So that is This Week in History.
Awesome. A few missing images there, but that's cool. A big week, yeah. So many deaths. Kurt Swan, George Reeves, and everyone on Krypton on the one day.
Yeah, it's just like, it's just a bad day for Superman.
Yes, indeed. Impressive list of real world events happening this week in the world of Superman. So thank you for This Week in History, Michael. A big one to get through. All right, let's push on to the comic book side of the world of Superman. And if you are a comic book reader, here is what you have to look forward to this week in the form of comic books. We have the Jurassic League number 2, the second issue of this 6-issue miniseries. And I can tell you that our reviewer, the review will go up on the website tomorrow, thinks this is a fantastic series. He's absolutely loving it. It's a massive escape. So looking forward to seeing what other fans think of this. Also available this week is the 12th issue of Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 12, which is available in a number of variant covers, including John having fun with some kids at the local park, and there's this Pride Week cover, and there's also John just kind of relaxing over the skies of Metropolis. Also out this week is Justice League Last Ride trade paperback. So that's what you have to look forward to if you're reading comic books this week. And speaking of comic books, let's bring in our fan who's calling us this week, Mark Lax. Welcome, Mark. Good to hear from you again.
Hey guys, how you doing? I know it's me again.
No, happy to hear from you, and at least you've got the phone stationary this week, so it's not jiggling all over the place. That's always appreciated. Anything there of interest for you, Mark? You're reading comic books?
Yeah, I mean, Son of Kal-El, and I know I think it's the end of I don't know, but I know there's a certain villain coming back. But I'm not brave enough to tell you who it is. I'm not brave a man enough to tell you who it is. But that's just a hint. I don't know.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the comic books coming out this week. And DC released this interesting image, which you might be interested in having a look at for DC Mech. Check it out, guys. This is a new upcoming comic book series, DC Mech. Here's the comic trailer. So there we have a 6-issue mini-series. The Age of Heroes is over and the era of the mech begins. It's a 6-issue mini-series written by Kenny Porter with art by Baldemar Rivas. At the end of World War II, Earth was invaded by giant mechanized parademons from a planet called Apocalypse. Earth's protectors, the Justice Society of America, were devastated, and with them the age of superheroes came to an end and the era of the mech began. In the ensuing years, the world has stockpiled colossal battlesuits piloted by elite warriors, waiting for the day Apocalypse returns. But when Kal-El, the last son of a dying world, crash lands in Metropolis with his own warsuit, he'll face down two of Earth's finest mech fighters, the Flash and Batman. What do we think?
It looks kind of exciting, but I don't know. I don't understand what mech is. That's not for a video game or anything, is it?
No, I think
it's just a description of the suits.
Yeah, like mech suits, like, you know, mechanical. Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, if that's your thing, I'm sure you're gonna love it.
Yeah, well, it kind of to me looks a bit like that. What was that movie where they had those giant creatures coming out of the Pacific Rim? That's it. Where these giant suits and guys having to pilot them and be fighters in them, and so yeah, it's kind of like touching into that kind of world or that kind of feel of things. But I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I think I don't know if we've got anybody scheduled to be reviewing that one, but it will be interesting to see whether or not it's a good story.
Yeah, that's a wait and see.
Yeah, they're definitely kind of sitting on the fence waiting for that one. Was there anything in particular you were hoping to talk to us tonight about, Mark?
No, I just thought we'd talk some comics, and, just say hello. I know I don't want to be a pest. So
No, never a pest. No, it's always good to hear from you, and we love to have fans realize that you can call in and have a chat to us tonight, and maybe if others can see that you're keen to do it, then they'll also want to join in and and call in and be part of the show as well.
I hope so. It's easy to get on, so I hope they do it.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Mark. Appreciate hearing from you, and we'll look forward to chatting with you again soon.
Okay, guys.
Take care, Mark. Bye-bye. So that was Mark. Yeah, apologise. His audio is a little bit clunky there, clicky. Maybe next time.
I'm
maybe
wondering what's up with that, because it seems like he's got a pretty smooth
video.
connection.
Yeah,
So.
could be the mic part of the phone, the bottom of the phone.
Yeah.
Maybe needs blowing out or something, or maybe putting a headphone in could help with that, Mark. So maybe next time we could try that when he calls in to see what's going on there with his audio. But I always appreciate our fans and our listeners calling in, and it's good to see Mark again this week. And if you do want to call in and be part of the show, as I said, the QR code is right there. Scan that on your phone. It'll send you to the right place, or simply head to supermanhomepage.com/live and click on the Call Now button. We didn't really do any movie news this week, and that is because there really isn't any. But I have seen quite a bit of Superman merchandise out there for DC League of Super Pets. I did grab. I was at the local shops, the store. One of the department stores here called Big W, and they had a crypto toy out there that we've kind of featured before. But I got the phone out and I had a little bit of a play videoing what the toy does for its sound. Have a look.
Okay, Pac. I have a plan. Hurry, there isn't much time. My powers include heat vision, freeze breath, and the solar palm punch. I guess it's down to us. Super Pets, activate! Who's ready to go save my best friend?
So that's just some of the audio that comes out of the crypto toy when you kind of press on the cape there. Hearing him, different lines from the movie, I guess. Dwayne Johnson's voice as Crypto there. Super Pets Activate. That was an interesting one.
Yeah, I think that's kind of adorable. The whole Super Pets thing, it's really funny that Warner Brothers took this long to kind of get into that computer-generated cartoon movie about animals doing human things. So it's like the secret life of DC Pets.
Yep, indeed. That's exactly what it feels like. So we're looking forward to seeing that one when it comes out. And there are lots of different merchandise items out there in different departments in your local store, whether that's in the action figures section like that toy was, or if you can go into the babies section, the baby toys section, there were little things there for toys. And even in the pet section, there's lots of pet toys and things coming out, obviously, for this movie as well. So lots of merchandise being released for DC League of Super Pets, which comes out, I think it's July, for you guys, July 29th, rings a bell?
I believe, yeah, we're about a little over a month away from that.
So looking forward to DC League of Super Pets coming out. Speaking of crypto, here's a little bit of a clip that DC Kids YouTube channel released from Crypto the Animated Series, in which we see a compilation of times both Crypto and Streaky have teamed up to save the day. Check out this little clip from Crypto the Superdog.
Okay, all right. Hey, relax, fellas. I was just trying to teach you a lesson. That's all. Enough already!
So there's Streaky just having a bit of fun with some of the dogs of who obviously caused a bit of hassle around Metropolis. But that's a 10-minute video that you can check out on our website of a compilation of times both Crypto and Streaky have teamed up to save the day. Bit of fun.
That's kind of adorable.
Yes. Yep. So, and there's also a DC Superhero Girls clip that you can also check out on our website. Michael, anything you wanted to touch on this week? You and I did a 10-minute podcast segment for, is it Starlog?
Yes, I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah, for the old magazine that came out, looking at Superman as a sci-fi character from in the 1940s. When that is collected and are available, I'll let you know, folks. But Michael and I collaborated on a little 10-minute segment for an upcoming podcast, which is always fun to do, to talk about things that are not necessarily for the Superman homepage, but are still about Superman.
Yeah, I was thinking about something, and we touched on earlier the Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling doing a Talkville, and I'm kind of curious. I got to be careful how I say this because it may seem like I'm trying to insult them. How long is it going to last?
Right, because
both,
it's 10
they're
seasons.
Both busy people. It's 10 seasons. 22 to 23 episodes per season, except for season 7. I think season 7 was the truncated season because of the writer's strike. Podcasts are hard. And to keep up with it, I mean, it would be cool, but I'm just hoping they're banking a lot ahead of time. Rosenbaum's got, his Inside of You podcast, which I really recommend the Annette O'Toole episode. Because it was there was some really good Superman talk in there. And boy, were they jerking her around on Smallville, it seemed, from time to time. Especially around 9/11, dear God. But it's just, I think it's really cool that they announced it. I think it's cool that they're doing it. I don't know if they're going to go 10 full seasons on that, because that's 200 and some odd episodes. And, it's probably easier because they probably have people editing it for them. Whereas I edit all my shows, and maybe I'm a little jealous that they have people that edit their stuff for them. I mean, it would be kind of nice. It's just... But yeah, I George in the chat asks if they're really busy. I mean, Rosenbaum's got a weekly podcast, and Welling has been acting, if I'm correct.
But it is a big commitment.
Yeah, I mean that's
because I mean you know what that's all about. You set up a commitment to do the From Crisis to Crisis, podcast where you went from a certain era to a certain era in the comic book side of things, and that's taken you the best part of 10 years.
Yeah, it's probably going to take us 20 years to get the thing done. Where we were thinking it was going to be 5 because we were foolish. So, and again, this isn't anything against Rosenbaum or Welling, who are really nice people, and I'm really excited for it. But the other thing is, there's some episodes that really drag.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they go and whether or not they follow through and do the whole 10 seasons. But that is the end of this episode of our podcast, and we have been going for a very long time in different iterations of this show, whether it be audio or video. But we appreciate everyone tuning in for tonight's episode of Superman Homepage Live. If you missed it, tuned in late, want to check it out in full, you'll be able to do so at supermanhomepage.com or our YouTube channel. But thank you to all those who participated in the show. Thank you to our sponsors and patrons, Douglas Meacham, John Patrick Van Pelt, and Tina Murray. And thank you to you, my co-host, Michael Bailey. Thanks, Mike.
Pleasure as always, Steve.
And remember, Michael and I will be back next week on Monday, June 20th for another edition of Superman Homepage Live, starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Time. We hope you'll join us then. Until then, be sure to check out supermanhomepage.com for all your daily news updates on everything surrounding the Man of Steel. I'm Steve Yunus on behalf of myself and Michael Bailey. Thanks for watching Superman Homepage Live, brought to you by supermanhomepage.com.